Hello? Yeah. Hello, hello. Hey, Beverly, how you doing today?
I'm having a good day, and how are you?
Man, it's Friday. Let's say that. Let's start there. Let's
What you
start
do
with that.
today?
It's Friday, and it being Friday is the best part of the week. You know, if you, whether people believe it or not, Friday is the best day of the week. People think just because it's the weekend. No, because it's Friday. Friday is just ever since Ice Cube made the movie Friday. Friday's the best day of the week. No,
It's
and
been
you
the
can't
best day
argue with
ever.
that, Beverly.
Huh?
You can't argue with that, Beverly. You can't argue
I
with that. People been getting high on
I'm not.
Fridays ever since.
I'm not gonna argue with it.
Um, how was your week? First off, let me ask you that.
Um, it's been it's been good. I won't complain. My 15-year-old started driver's ed this week, so he's got one more week, and then he gets his permit. Woohoo! And I'm done with driving that sucker back and forth to where he needs to go.
So Dalen started driver's ed.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah, that's super exciting.
man. I'm pretty excited because next Saturday Gavin graduates high school.
Oh my God!
Yes.
You will
Um,
officially be empty nest.
I will officially be empty nest. And give me 1 second. Let me move this. Let me make this public because we can't see the comments and it's not letting me do it on my computer. Hold on. It won't take number a second. So that way everybody can comment, so we can talk to everybody. But we do have a good topic to talk about today. So let's get to it. Let's edit privacy, everybody, and let's get back to Billy. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right, now yeah, Gavin graduates, so I will officially be empty nester as far as kids. It's time to start looking towards the grandkids. Well, no, I'm not because I got Kaden, and I still got I still have her son is down there in North Carolina. We got a graduation to go to in a few years down there, so I do still got a couple to go through. But my own, they'll be done. I'm kind of excited. Gavin is Gavin is becoming a pretty well-rounded young man. I give him that. I'm very
He
proud of him.
is
He's
definitely a
he's
well-rounded kid. He is. You did really good with that one. I'm super excited for you.
well. My sorry about that, y'all. My light went out. Hold up, my light went out for a second. My I'll be honest with you. Gavin is slowly becoming my most patient kid. He's different than the other ones. He's different than his brothers and sisters. He's just so much more mature. He's so much more mature. I think it's being around all them for all those years and being so young, being around Brianna and them while they was pretty much right at becoming an adult when he was baby. So he's just so dang mature. I'm so proud of him. I really am proud of what how he's turning out as of right now.
I am
Yours,
so
I'm looking for
glad.
yours to go. I'm looking for yours to be in the NFL Combine in about 7 years.
5. Why you bullish?
Well, don't get them out there too early. Them big dudes in the NFL, they hit hard.
Oh yeah, you're right. And he's a little bitty. I'm hoping
And
he's gonna gain
Dalen ain't
weight in the next.
Dalen ain't gonna never get probably over 195
Mhm.
unless he sprout up just a little bit. I think he'll end up about 190, 195. Good running back, good cornerback, good cornerback size. You know what I'm saying? Also a good slot receiver size. Yeah, so NFL, y'all keep looking out for him. He coming up. He coming up. I
Thank you
know my
so
nephew's
much.
gonna make it. He has the speed and he has the mind for it. All he got to do now is work for it.
Yeah, he got to work for it. This kid. So let's get him
So
through
where you going
school.
to school at?
He is definitely going to Martin High School.
So y'all know we'll be attending some Martin games this year.
Right. It'll be
So
everything on live.
y'all get ready. He'll be the little motherfucker. He'll be the little motherfucker everybody chasing.
And he gone.
I just want y'all to remember that. But we do got a serious topic to talk about today. For some reason, they ain't been wanting us to go live. We've been trying to get on live all week long, talk about some things. And I'll be honest, I wanted to talk about the Buffalo incident, but then I thought about it in real hindsight. With the video that he dropped and everything, I don't even want to give his name motivation. I don't even want to give his story motivation because the reality of it is the stuff that went on the other day in Buffalo is stuff that we thought of when our ancestors were living, not stuff that we used to believe of when we were living. And I don't want to ever say that I want us to have to carry more guns, but I do want us to protect our neighborhood. I do want us to protect our neighborhood, And again, another person with a mass shooting, and it happens to be inside with black people versus a white situation, and that motherfucker, or it don't matter if it's a mass white shooting, the motherfuckers always get arrested. For some reason, we always did. And hell, all we
Right.
doing is selling cigarettes.
They they always walk out in handcuffs, and for some reason,
They walk
you
out
know.
in handcuffs like, I mean, how in the fuck everybody else walking body bags and you walk out in handcuffs? But we ain't
Right.
gonna talk about it because again, I don't want to give his name no motivation. I don't want to give light to the topic because that's what the white supremacists want us to do. They want us to give light to it. They want us to make it a national news. They want everybody to know what they're doing. But just know, most of us around here, we're paying very close attention. Some of you motherfuckers gonna get fucked up. You come to the wrong neighborhood. Just remember that. Eastwood is waiting on you motherfuckers. And I already told these youngsters, all them extendo clips y'all better unload when the motherfucker come out there and jump out of the car. Y'all better unload that motherfucker. One of the motherfucker better hit him. I know he got body armor on, but one of the motherfucker better hurt. I say y'all can shoot the police and shit. Goddamn it, y'all can shoot that motherfucker. I'm just saying. But the story we got today to talk about is in our own community while we're talking about our black people with guns. What can we do different to change the narrative on black killings in our own community? Because now, I mean, we have to understand these are our kids. We lived through the game. Let me first start it off by saying this. Beverly, I remember when Mama and Daddy used to pray for us to make it home. I remember back in 91, 89, all them years when I was in my teens, that they was praying for us to make it home. Gang violence was just starting to hit Fort Worth. Drugs had already taken over in the early 80s. By the mid and late 80s, our communities were starting to struggle, and more of our young men was turning to the streets. And we lived through the gang violence. I mean, we ushered in our age and ushered in the gang violence in the Fort Worth, in our Fort Worth community. So I do now, being a parent, I do understand when Mama said how she prayed for us to make it home at night. I do understand what those prayers feel like. I do understand what those tears feel like on the side of the bed when you don't know what your child is at. I do now know, and it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same when you're the one worried, when you're the one that had the kid out there. But when you're the kid, you don't quite think that way. I know because I was that kid that was out there. Beverly, you know, because sometimes you probably was out there a few times yourself, but you probably think Mama didn't want you to be out there. We all
I
know.
wasn't. I was actually a good girl. I was well sheltered. I went to church 5 days a week. So my father was not in the gang, but my father was in the streets, and my mother wouldn't allow me to be with my father very often, because she just didn't want that life to be introduced to me. So
Rest in peace, Uncle Rufus. Rest in peace, Uncle Rufus.
rest in peace, Rufus Lee. But I am a victim to not gang violence, but my brother was shot and killed when I was 14 years old on Lancaster. So I've been a victim in regards to losing a family member, and I've also been on the other side where my son didn't kill anyone, but he still committed aggressive acts of assault to people where he put himself in a
With a
position
gun.
where he could.
With the gun, right?
Right. So
Okay. So I mean, at any point in time, we all know that a lot of young men don't understand when they go into situations like that, no matter what the situation is, robbery, pulling a gun on somebody, any situation, they don't understand that they're only a second away from one wrong move and their life is over or that person's life is over.
right.
They really don't understand it. A lot of our young, I'm one that I truly believe that gun laws need to be raised to 25, not 21.
Because
I've always
maturity
been a
is
big believer
different
in that.
at that age. That 4 years
Yeah,
is that's a big difference.
it's a maturity difference. That's the biggest thing. You know, you don't know how powerful that gun is until you actually use it and take a life.
Right.
And then you're gonna go one way or another. You're gonna think you're invincible as fuck after that, or it's gonna fuck you up in your head after that.
Right. You're going
But
one or
it's
two
no other
directions.
way out.
Right.
Yeah. And some people choose to put down the gun, some people use to take it on. And remember, if you continue to take on the gun, if you live by it, you're gonna die by it.
I
So
truly do believe that we are living in the last days in regards to children just deliberately defying their parents. It because I am a parent who pushed for my child to live a better life, and I was doing everything I possibly could to provide a better life for him. That I hate to hear when people automatically put that child's crime on that parent. Not saying that I'm ignorant to parents not being there or promoting violence, um, but that isn't 100% the case. And my 15-year-old son told me like 2 years ago the thing to do was to take pictures with an AR. That was the thing to do. And most of his friends that were doing it are in two-parent homes. They don't live in Meadowbrook. They don't live in Eastwood. Then they're in
well,
Mansfield.
I wasn't directly involved, but Danae, my daughter that I adopted, her brother accidentally shot his friend with a gun playing with
See?
him in the house, and he was charged with murder. And the only reason why he didn't get major time is because the mother and father of the child didn't believe he did it on purpose. But the reality of it was, again, it's a situation where you don't know what you got in your hand, and you don't know what that gun is capable of, and you don't know what makes that gun really go off, how easy that trigger can go off, or what goes wrong. And today, I think our kids, and because of music, because of television, and other things that goes on, our kids are careless with it because they think that the people on the videos are careless because that's what they're doing. But whether they believe it or not, they're they're getting paid to do all that. But trust me, I guarantee you don't walk with that gun by their hand like that all the time. That's why a lot of them are dying. They say they live by it, but they don't have it in their hand like they always say they do. So the rapping industry is the most rapping industry is a dangerous industry nowadays to be a
Right.
rapper. The
You
age
know,
limit for the rapper, the most of them don't make it to 30 now for sure.
right.
It ain't like Master P, uh, Snoop Dogg, uh, Ice Cube, and all the ones we grew up with. They made it to 50. You know what I'm saying? Because they were smart. They understood. They did go through the gang violence. They did live through their rough times. Snoop Dogg was on trial for murder. I mean, when you sit back and you look back at it, I mean, it's gonna go on in our community. But what can we do to change the narrative? Let me ask you. Let me put a scenario out there for you, Miss Beverly, and see if you knew your child was going to commit a fatal act, and what at what lengths would you go to stop your child? What lengths would you be willing to go to stop your child?
If he was doing what?
If you knew, okay, so say whatever might have happened. Say whatever might have happened, some situation happened, and you knew your son was going to commit a fatal act towards another. At what lengths would you be willing to go to stop it? See, because that's
Be-
one of the questions that we have to ask our parents out here. Because I hear, I'm around, we work, you know where I live, and you know where Phoenix is, and you know what kind of neighborhood we live in. So you hear parents all the time, their kids get into something, you better get in his ass. You do like, sometimes we push them and we promote them. I mean, what would you go through to really stop your child? Because what you don't understand is, yeah, your child might be protecting whatever he's protecting. He might be doing whatever he's doing, but your child not only is fixing to take a life, but your child life is about to be taken one way or another. He's fixing a life sentence, or somebody gonna take him in too, because that's what the streets are.
So
So,
of course
at
it
what length would you be willing to go? Yeah, what length would you go to stop your child from committing a fatal act towards another?
Well, I would definitely talk to him. He and I would be talking. I'd find some professional help to help him sort those feelings and emotions out. And then I'd probably lock him up, put him in my house and keep him active for the weekend. All right, well, we going out of town or we finna, you know what I'm saying, we finna do something else. Let's go down to Austin.
But let me ask you a question. Sometimes that's just a turn in the moment.
Right. That's what I was just getting ready to say. That only
Let me
cures
ask you a
the
question.
moment. That
What
doesn't,
if that? What if that? What if that boil that's in your son's stomach doesn't change over the week?
to be honest with you, Thomas, I don't know. I
Would
don't
you be
know. I
willing to?
don't
Would you
know.
be
I don't,
willing to go?
other
Would
than
you be willing to
providing
go as
professional
far as?
assistance, like getting
Would
him
you be
some
willing to go as
professional
far?
help and getting him out of that
But see, let me ask
environment.
But see, you and me both know, depending on how old you, at the age of your son, there is no professional help you can get for your son in that situation because he's not crazy. He's fixing to commit a violent act. So, would you be willing to go as far as to have him locked up before he committed that?
Mm-mm, no, he had, my son has a counselor now. He talks to a
No, I'm
counselor
saying.
twice a week.
No, I know that now. I'm not talking about. I'm saying take away his criminal record. All your son don't have a criminal record. All this first time ever getting in trouble, and you you can't stop him. You know talk to him all weekend. His mind is made up. Everything else. The only thing left to do, because if your son go over there, he might kill somebody. But what if somebody kill him in return in return fire? You see what I'm saying? So in
No.
your case, the only other choice is to call the police. Because guess what? The hospital's not gonna lock him up for being crazy.
You know,
You see what I'm
that's a
saying?
lie. Melwood on Randall Mill and Cooper will lock his ass up for being crazy. They'll lock him
Yeah,
up
but
for
if
a
you
good
telling
minute.
him, watch this. If you telling him he's going to go kill somebody, they're not going to intervene in that. They're going to tell you to call the police. You
You
know what I'm
lie
saying?
and say that
You
he's
never
going to
had it
commit.
like this.
You lie and say that he's mental and he's going to commit harm to himself, and they will lock his ass up.
But see, the question is when they come out there and they question him, if he stays calm, cool, and collective, and he's not in a mental state, they cannot lock. If he's of age, they cannot do anything about him. My brother's
Mm-mm.
going through it now, and he's dealing with it in Arkansas. 40 something years old. My brother. He's having issues. You know what I'm saying? His mind ain't quite in the way it used to be. He kind of goes off the end from time to time. And we finally got him committed. But it took us almost a year to get him committed. These things, a year out there, he's going to be done killed the person he's looking for. That's what I'm saying. They don't have programs that can get us to stop our kids from killing them. We have to try to find a way to stop them. We have to. Beverly, we've had a few friends over the last few months that had kids that was killed by gun violence. And my prayers been with them ever since. I can't imagine the pain. Um, I'll be honest with you. If I knew that my son was going to commit a crime, Beverly, and the last hope was for me to call the police, I would. I would. Because I got money to bail him out. I got money to bail him out.
Yeah, but
And if
that's
he
going to be
doesn't
on
commit the
them for the
crime, just
rest of
charge
their
him with murder.
life. That will be on them for the rest of their life.
If your child's never been in trouble and you know what you're doing with the justice system, you wash it up underneath because a crime never was committed. You stop the crime from being committed. The system
That
has
would
to
be the
change. We have
very
to work with the
worst,
system.
like be the that's going to be the last resort. That's going to be, I've tried to do everything. I've called a counselor. I've called, because
Yeah.
we have a counselor on
Okay.
deck.
Say you don't make that call. Say you don't make that call, and you don't make that call, and he does go out and kill him. What's going to be on his record for the rest of his life after that?
You're absolutely right. I agree. I promise I agree. But
See,
there are things that I would do.
watch this.
I
If
wouldn't
he's of
immediately
age,
go
if
straight to
he's of
calling the
age,
police.
if he's of age, and no, I wouldn't go straight to call him. If I've done everything in my power that I feel like I can do it, but in my heart I know that he's still going to do it, I'll do what I have to do to save my child and save somebody else. Because the
Understood.
reality of it is, I need you to sit there. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say that in all cases because I'm from the streets. Y'all need to understand. In some situations, I'm not stepping in. I ain't going to lie to y'all. Because some of these pervert motherfuckers around and need to be killed. You know what I'm saying? There are different situations for different folks. I'm not gonna sit up and justify it ain't right, but hey, that's on y'all. I'm not gonna kill him. I'm not gonna take another person's life for no reason unless it has to be a must. It has to be for my kids, my grandkids, or something like that. And it has to be to protect them, not just to be shooting somebody. But what I'm saying, Beverly, we've been around it now, and it's starting to get, every weekend we're starting to hear of somebody else's child being murdered.
Man, there's
Somebody
no
else's
quick
child
fix
being.
to this. There's absolutely no quick fix to this. Take it's gonna take more than just me and you. It's gonna take a community. We can't continue. I think the community is more. That ain't none of my business. I'm not having anything to do with that. That's gonna be the first thing we have to stop. It is our business. So I don't live in Stop Six anymore, but if a kid is coming up dead in Stop Six every weekend, I'm gonna have to go over there, and I'm gonna have to join those individuals in that community to come up with a
And try
solution.
to find out.
Right. To come up with the
Yeah.
common solution. Let me tell you what I have noticed. So TikTok, people sleep on that, but a lot of our kids on TikTok, if you notice, that's dancing, we're laughing, we're playing. More kids are going on to TikTok to celebrate life versus holding up guns. And so I think that wave needs to increase. We need to push having fun, living life, dancing, smiling. You know what I'm saying? If our rappers would join, get along, get on board, like the baby did get on board. Like he had a TikTok he had a TikTok challenge. That was cool as all get out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Super cool. It was innocent. It was
Yeah.
fun.
So you saying more of the hip hop and music community needs to get on board with trying to put down the guns too.
Right, they definitely do because they are what makes it cool. Whatever they say makes it cool. I'm telling you, anything NBA YoungBoy does right now is cool. If NBA YoungBoy said right now we all finna make rainbows and this how we gonna make it, I'm telling you, we'll have a whole goddamn world of kids, over 200 million kids outside trying to make rainbows just because NBA YoungBoy said it's cool to do it. Let's do it.
Um, this one's gonna get kind of personal. Do you think we can do better as co-parents?
Absolutely.
I see all the time, and it's not all situations. I know a lot of friends of mine that do very well with co-parenting. They're very involved in their kids, like mom and father, both of them are. And when I say mom and father involved in their kids' life, they know what their kids are monitoring, they know what their kids are watching, they understand, and they're able to sit down have a semi-adult conversation. When I say semi, because they're pre-adult, they're teenagers, they're going into their adulthood. It's time to sit down and have conversations. And I think it's important because, and then also I think it's important what the parents emulate too. If I walk around with a gun around my waist, always toting that mug, acting like I'm the hardest nigga in the world, my son gonna act the way I act. I don't give a damn what any of y'all say. Your first superhero in your life is your mom and dad.
Right.
The first superhero that you ever see in life, unless you had an abusive one that didn't do you right, I can't speak on those people. But if you had a mom and dad that was a mom and dad, they was your first superhero. Fuck what you say. Wasn't no goddamn Superman. Wasn't no goddamn Spider Man. Wasn't that shit. It was mom and daddy. Cause that's who you seen. Goddamn it. That motherfucker got me some oatmeal this morning. That motherfucker got me some cereal this evening. She give me exactly what I want. You know what I'm saying? That's my superhero. That's my Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying? I think that if if you emulate the same thing that the rap industry and the music industry is emulating, your kids are gonna come up emulating that. If we want to change the narrative, we have to change the narrative inside our own home. We have to start there first. We have to make sure that we understand. And I'm not sitting up here saying that you got to be all in your kids' business, but you can pay attention when your kids are starting to go left.
Oh, I'm in
Most
mine.
of us know when our kids, yeah, yeah,
He ain't got no gun.
you raised that motherfucker his whole life. The motherfucker can't change up and expect for you not to see the shit. That's that dumb shit. They don't think we see it, but we see it. We see your pants are now sagging, and you ain't never sagged before. You know what I'm saying? We see you now starting to wear a certain color versus wearing all colors. We see those things. But do we say anything? Do we comment? Do we ask why? Do we get into the conversation with our kids? Or do we just disregard it and then be surprised when it happens? I know, again, like I said, um, one of my close friends I was raised with, Mr. Calvin Brewer, I love you, man. I'm praying for you. I'm always going to pray for you, bro.
Always
But
praying for you, Coach Calvin.
but he went through it with his son, and he lost his son over the last year or so. And I can imagine the pain that he feels. But he raised his son right. He did everything. He was a father that stood he stood in the threshold for his son. He's the one that did that. He did that. He did everything right. For his son not to be the target, but still end up getting taken.
Right.
See, that's where we're at right now. Even if you're shooting at someone, there's other people there. There's other people's kids there. They're not just the one you're shooting at. And kids don't understand that. These kids with guns. I say they're kids with guns because they're not mature enough to understand and know what they got. They're
Right.
kids with guns. Adults need to understand how to carry guns. Guns are meant to protect us, not meant to go around and take a life because you don't like the way they look at you, or because you don't like what they said to you, or because your girlfriend gave you some eyes. Dumb reason. And not just our sons, our daughters are in jeopardy now. Just as many young women are dying of gun violence as men are nowadays. We had a young lady get shot at FEMA last week at the
What?
pump. Yeah, she didn't die, but she got shot. A young man a few weeks ago got shot up there. He died a week or two later after his shooting from his injury. Again, we have to change the narrative. We can't be out there. And they were just shooting the gun around. They weren't even trying to shoot nobody, from what the police was determining when they was out there. They shot major rounds, and all they was doing was shooting the gun there. It ended up hitting somebody again. Again, you don't know what you have in your hand. If a bullet goes up, it got to come down. If a bullet goes sideways, it got to go somewhere. It's going to end up somewhere. The question is, where is it going to end up? And is it going to cost somebody? Is it going to cost another one of us to have to bury our kids? Another one to bury our nephews, our uncles, our daddies? You know what I'm saying? Our grandkids, because that's where we're at, and that's what we're struggling with. Beverly is trying to figure out what can we do to change the narrative. Can we have more educational classes with our young kids on what guns is and what gun control is? Because guns aren't going to go anywhere. We see that. So
It's
you can't
definitely
keep them
got to
away.
be with the kids. It's going to stem from educational classes with the kids. It's going to stem with going back into the community and doing stuff. What happened to Stop Sis Cleanup Day? What happened to Eastwood Cleanup Day? What happened to car washes? What happened to, we have to have some type of camaraderie in our community. And we also need to, again, we need to get those individuals that have made killing people cool to jump on board and promoting that killing people is not cool. So as long as it be a young boy out here talking about he shot up this and he finna kill you and this my op and all this other stuff, we're fighting a battle that's just, I don't see how we gonna win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if they're going to listen to it all day. Well, but they said the same thing about us. They said the same thing when we was growing up. They said that music, that our music was making us conduct and act violent and be gang members and stuff that we was doing.
And it was. It was.
Was it our music, or was true gangs coming through our community? Because hearing it on the radio isn't what you've seen in our streets. Our streets seen older guys, but becoming OGs and becoming gang members in our neighborhoods, and that's what got us in gangs. It wasn't the music. We shit. We knew it. I hate to tell you, but at our age, no matter how much you believe in Beverly, we knew that it was music back then. We
No,
knew it was
but
music. Yeah, no, no,
even
no. Watch this. We knew it was music because guess what? Our rappers wasn't dying every week. Nowadays, it's real life. Mo3 and them got killed on the highway. You know what I'm
right.
saying? That shit didn't go on when we was around and we didn't have cameras.
No, that's not true. Tupac, Biggie Smalls, those
Tupac
people.
got killed on the LA strip, but from what you know, from what everybody know what that was. That was a personal hit. And the same thing with Mo3, but the reality of it is come on now, we talking about like Tupac. As much as we talk about Tupac, we didn't hear about Tupac going to shoot up people like we heard about Mo3 going out there putting in work in the street. You know what I'm saying? Tupac talked about it. He said his stuff. You know, he talked his hard shit, which that's what we liked about him. But as far as actually having to put in work, we never ever had proof that he actually put in work. You know what I mean? You there? You there, Beverly? You know, walked out, y'all. Again, I don't know what we have to do. We definitely have to change the narrative in our black community. We have to we have to educate our young men on what they have. But I
On
would never
our
want.
sides. It can't just be on a
Oh, that's
couple.
what it is.
It has to be
So
on
let me ask
all
you a question.
sides.
So let me ask you a question.
Mm-mm.
Do we need to have more? Do we need to have more community meetings as older black communities?
Yeah, I mean,
Do
we
we
don't
need
have
do
none
we need
now.
to
I
get
don't say we
together?
need more. We don't have none. We don't have no
Well,
community meetings.
well,
Do that.
well, let me say this. Let me say this. There are some out there. Let me say this because Ronnie Mitchell. Let me put Ronnie Mitchell on a pedestal. Because Ronnie Mitchell is definitely one that pushes for the nonviolence, and he's definitely a brother that I respect that stands up for the cause. And he definitely has a lot of community meetings. He does a lot. He's retired now, and he's working on dispatch classes and other things he got going. But his biggest thing is trying to change the narrative in the black community. You know Ronnie
Well,
Mitchell.
Where is he promoting his stuff? Because that's weird. That
All in Fort Worth. Go to his page. I'll get all this information, come back and repost it on my page. I'll go share it off his page later on. That way y'all can
yeah,
see it.
we've got to
Like
do
I said,
better
he
in
started.
sharing that information. So we
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he started a nonprofit. I can't remember his nonprofit right now, and I will have to get it for y'all. If anybody don't hear and they know Ronnie Mitchell, go to his page and give me his nonprofit right quick because it's definitely on his page. And most of his kids are working for the summer. He got all of them through his program. He got them jobs for the summer, and he's also teaching them how to be young men, and also teaching them how to do dispatch and other things in the trucking industry before they even get out of high school. You know what I'm saying? So that way they already have something to go into that can make good money for them. So Ronnie's doing a lot. I mean, but again, that's just one person. Like Beverly say, one person you're not gonna see it because there's millions of us around here. Miss Bobank said this is a sad world that we live in. It is, Miss Bobank. It's a very sad world. I'm waiting on Corey to come on. Corey should be getting home in a minute. We're waiting on Corey to come on to help us out, make. Because like I said, I just want us to change the narrative. I mean, our narrative right now is every weekend, we're expecting to hear of another black young man or young woman being shot in our community. Why can't we, like Beverly say, why can't we talk about the block party that went on? Nobody got hurt, where everybody had a good time. The kids enjoyed themselves. The adults enjoyed themselves. We used to have those things back in the day. Juneteenth parties at the park, all that stuff. It made a big difference in our community back then. Beverly is totally right. We don't in our black community we definitely have fallen off in that area. But how do we get it back? And how do we work to get it back? Miss Beverly, it look like we lost her for right now. I'm gonna be on here a short time later, a short time longer, but I'm waiting on Corey. We're definitely gonna revisit this subject, but I definitely wanted to come on here and talk. Miss Bobank, I'm gonna send you the link if you free. Cause it's just like me, my friend, everybody's gonna go. Here I come. It's just me here, but I mean, we I got Sierra's on her way. It looks like, and I think Corey's on his way. Corey was picking up his daughter from practice a while ago, so he should be headed back in. Miss Bowbanks, if you would, you can come join me. It's just like I said, there was another young black man that died in Dallas this week. A younger black man in his early before he was 20 years old or something like that. It's becoming the norm. A couple of weeks ago, there was a young man that was killed. He's from Eastwood. He was a young, sweet young man, and never bothered nobody. Nothing. I mean, seriously, the young man, all he wanted to do was try to make money. Whatever he had to do, wash a car, whatever he had to do, he'd do it. You know what I'm saying? Just graduated high school. Really didn't know what he wanted to do yet, but he was just trying to figure himself out. But he nobody never bothered nobody. Somebody took the young man's life for no reason. Again, it's becoming senseless. They're pulling guns and using guns for reasons for no they don't have one. And how do we change the narrative on that situation so we don't have to continue to bury someone else's son, someone else's daughter every weekend? How can we change it? I know it's not gonna. The world is never gonna totally change, but there has to be a way that we can make a difference. There has to be a way where we can slow it down, where we can hold our kids more accountable. Um, I don't know, Ms. Bowbanks. If you have an answer, tell me. And I do see four of our viewers. The other question is, how do we co-parent to really get help? I know a lot of single mothers. I talked to some of my friends because I've been trying to get this subject on the air for a while. I talked to a lot of females that has been on the show and has sons and stuff. And they say, some of the fathers ain't in their son's life, so it's kind of hard for them when their son starts getting to that nanny stage where he starts to bow up a little bit and everything. They say they never get out too disrespectful with them. But how do they control them in that situation? How does a single mother control her son that's violent and ready to go hurt somebody? He might not hurt her, but how does she really stop him? I mean, she's not stronger than him. And I think that's where us as men, uncles, grandfathers, brothers, whatever you are, I think that's where we come in at. That's where we come in, and I think we have to intervene in the situation. But I don't know if we can intervene and stop them. But I mean, without a physical altercation in some situations. But I mean, I would hope that we would be able to talk to our loved ones and tell them, stop them, be able to calm them down enough to stop them from hurting them or anybody else. So again, it's just me here right now, waiting on the rest of my friends. And y'all know I'm crazy as hell, but we're talking about black killings in our own community. How can we change the narrative? How can we do something different? How can we make a difference? How can we,
I'm back.
how can we change? I got you. I knew you'd be back. I said, how can we change the narrative? Again, like I said, Miss Beverly is one of my friends. She's a single mom. When her son got old and he started blowing up, she did everything she could to stop him. And
Everything
without
I
calling the
knew
police,
that I could do, like
without
everything
calling
I
the
knew.
police. Well, let me say this: you did everything you did without calling the police. But I was just talking about, what can we do better as co-parents, and what can we do better as family, because if Beverly's my sister and she's struggling with her son, and there's not a male figure, his father might not be around, whatever the reason might be, if he's not stepping up, we have to start stepping up. We have to step up and step in. She might not be able to calm them, make them understand, but we're a man. He might see it different from a different perspective. Beverly would always tell me stuff all the time, and then when Rock comes tell me, I'd be like, yeah, okay. And they'd be like, damn it, we just said that shit to you.
What I need to do, change my voice?
No, you just got to come from a man's perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a man has to hear it from a man.
I do. I will say this: when I would talk to Braylon, I would pretty much, you would just reiterate what it was that I would say, and he'd be mad and furious and fighting against me. But then the moment you step in and say the same crap that I said, because you're just reinforcing what I, all of a sudden the light goes off, and he's like, "Oh, Uncle Thomas said, nigga, no, I said." What? So because Uncle Thomas said it, it's cool.
No disrespect to anybody out there, but a lot of the ones out here, acting up is coming from environments where there aren't male figures in their life like that. And I mean, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. Until I was like I said, until I was about 13 years old, I never had a major male figure that I could look up to other than Rufus. You know what I'm saying? And then my stepfather came in my life when I was like 11, and my mom and him got married not too long after that. But the reality of it was until he came in my life, I didn't know what that stern male figure looked like. You know what I'm saying? The male figure that was decent, that was respectful. I was raised around pimps and shit my whole goddamn life. Damn well they wasn't respectful.
I was just
So I
going
mean,
to say, like, my father wasn't a good example to you. I mean,
no,
even though that's what you saw,
let me
but
tell
he
you something.
wasn't.
Rufus might not have been a good example to some of them other people, but Rufus never showed me that. Rufus always showed me the kindness and sweetness of Rufus. Rufus had a good side, a real good side, and he was like I said, he might have been hard and he might have been about them streets, and people might say bad things about him, but as far as a man that actually looked out for like nieces, nephews, and stuff like that, he definitely did that. He definitely did
Absolutely,
that.
I agree.
And
I
and, and,
agree.
and, and those men made a difference when gang violence came here in Fort Worth. Those men in my life it did. You know what I'm saying? I never chose a gang either side. I know every one of my friends will tell you I was closer to more Bloods than I was Crips though, because of course I was from the East Side. You know what I'm saying? And that's mostly Blood. So I mean, it is what it is. But the reality of it was that those male figures was the reason why I didn't join those things. And then on top of that, I had friends on each side. So I couldn't imagine because my friend wore a different color than me, but he's been my friend all these years. Now that we wear different colors, now we're enemies. I never could wrap my brain around it. So I mean, you know me, Beverly. I get along mostly everybody I come in contact with. I try to be the same person with everybody and give them a chance. That's always been me. I just couldn't do it, but I do believe it was because of those male figures in my life. I do honestly believe that. I can't say it's the same for every situation because there's males that's raised in the household with a father that wasn't even raised with the background that I was raised with, and they still choose to be in a gang. So it's not always the same scenario. So we're not saying in every scenario. I'm definitely not saying in every scenario, but I do know in most circumstances, a lot of these young men don't have a male figure that is upright and has integrity. Let me say that. That's the word I was looking for.
I was
Men
going to
with
say they
integrity.
have male figures.
Your
They're
dad,
just
your dad,
not positive male
let me
figures.
tell you something. Your father might have been bad about a lot of things, but he had integrity. He wouldn't do people wrong. That wasn't something about him. He did people right. Most of the time, he did people right in my life that I've ever seen, especially me and my mom. He's always looked out for us. So I can't say that about him. Everybody else experience them, that's them. But integrity is something that all men and women don't carry. And people say, well, what is integrity? Doing what's right when nobody's looking. Not just doing what's right, doing what's right when nobody's looking. See, when somebody's looking at you, you're always gonna try to do right. But when nobody's paying attention to you, sometimes you do it a little bit different because you're trying to get it done a little quicker. But it ain't right though. Miss Bo, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Man, it is Friday, man, and Beverly's off work. She over there letting her hair flip back and shit, and thinks she's cute and shit.
That's all
Miss
Lanier,
right.
how you
Flip
Bo,
it.
doing, Mr. Lanier? Lanier Morris, how you doing, man? This is one of my middle school friends, man. Lanier, I ain't gonna tell you a story, but one day I'm gonna have to tell him your story, man. Yeah. People might not know. Lanier was with it back when we was younger. There was one of the first street dudes that I learned in middle school. I didn't know we had street dudes in middle school, but he was one of the first street dudes I met in middle school. Yeah, Lanier one of my closest friends. It's called self
Wow.
discipline, building character. Let me tell y'all something, man. True story, man. Man, our eighth grade graduation, Lanier sold a limousine and brought it up there and tried to, yeah. Boy, Lanier was something else. That's my boy. He's changed his life. You know what I'm saying? All of us had a different life. The best part about it is our testimony is what makes us so good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Lanier,
Right.
Lanier was, hey man, Lanier was, if it was a car, Lanier could get it. And he got a slick tongue on him, so he can talk you out of it too if you let him talk to you. So I mean, man, we tripped out, man. He pulled up there, talking, I'm getting that say, man, Lanier, but he's a good dude. He really is a good dude. So like I said, he went through gang violence with us too. He was raised through this, not graduation. Well, it was graduation, but it put like he pulled up to the school with it in limousine.
Okay, I can't hear you no more. Hello.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, he's just talking.
Yeah, he's just over there really going.
And he held his fingers up. Um. Well, how you been,
I'm doing good, Miss Bo. I actually miss you so much.
girl? You know what? You just been busy. I know you've been busy.
Yeah, I'm over here working. I'm getting it done.
Oh,
I
okay.
pay attention to you on Facebook, so I see the grandbaby is growing and your son is doing really well. So
Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We just started having our own conversation.
yeah,
I know that's right.
you
Hey,
can.
as long as y'all keep the conversation going. But like I said, Miss Beverly, I do believe that those male figures in my life was one of the major reasons why I didn't get out here and get as wild as some of my friends did. You know what I'm saying? I did have friends that got out here pretty wild. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I don't know. I think one of the biggest questions I have to ask a lot of men, if any of y'all anybody watch this video that's a man, are we doing enough in our own community? Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I want to hold the women accountable, but there's a lot of male men, there's a lot of male shooters out here, and those are for us.
No, there's not a lot of people doing things in the community because if there was a lot of work that was going and that could be going on, we probably wouldn't be facing a lot of seeing a lot of things that we see. But it's like
Well, you,
we'll get on it and we'll fall off, but we don't stay
well, I,
steady.
well, I can say this, Beverly's son. Ever since I met her son, and I met him after he'd already got in trouble. I feel like it's my responsibility as Beverly's friend, brother, whatever she calls me, that if he needs me, I'm here. Because the reality of it is that I don't want him down there, and I definitely don't want her. To have to bury her. So at the end of the day, the best thing for me to do is to try to be somewhat of a friend when she needs me the most. Because I understand as a woman, it's hard raising a black man. You know what I'm saying? It's hard raising a black man. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you love him so
And
much, and you want to believe in him and everything. And no matter what, nobody sees you. No woman in the world that's gonna ever date you gonna see more potential than your mama ever sees in
you know what? I always kind of wonder too, even though we raise our kids, but the mothers who have sons, I mean, I don't know if I want to call them that, but the ones that made the wrong turn that and to other people they see them as monsters because of what they've done. And they're not right in their mind. You know what I mean? I always kind of wonder about those mothers whose sons are actually, you know, doing the killing,
Well, let
and
me
have
say
no
this.
remorse. And
Let
it,
me
and it,
and let
you
me
know, just wonder.
let me say this.
Miss
I've had
Bo,
I've
this is
had
what we do. This is what we do. We continue to show our light and show the opposite of what my son's behavior is.
well
Right.
let me say this. The worst thing that I hate is you know us not holding them accountable. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of parents say, "Well, my son He ain't gonna do this. He ain't gonna do that. He get out. He ain't gonna do this. He ain't gonna do that. But they get right back out and be the same person they was before they went back in. So somebody else's child's gonna lose their life after they come back out. You know, when I remember dealing with Beverly in her situation, and one of the biggest things he told me, I believe in him, and I believe in him, and Brady's definitely shown us exactly what the system is meant for. You know what I'm saying? It's meant to change you. It's not meant to send our kids away for life. But the problem is that they're taking a life before they ever get a chance to
Right.
understand what the system's for. There's no rehabilitation that you're getting life sentences and death sentences for taking life. So taking lives out
Right.
there. So there's no coming back from that. Everybody want to walk around and carry guns, and everybody want to act tough with the guns, but how tough are you when somebody tells you every day when you gotta eat, shit, and sleep?
Right. It used to be
You
so
ain't so
scary
tough
just
no
to,
more. Go ahead.
I said, it used to be so scary. At one point when you had a daughter, you just scared for your daughter to be out there. Now it's just I'm so afraid because I have sons. And every time my phone ring, you don't know if there's somebody calling that your son is hurt, and it scares me, and I hate that I have to kind of live that way.
Well, I want everybody. I mean, the hardest thing is living as a black person anytime. Like I said, the shit that happened in
Right,
Buffalo as a black person, it's hard to live with that. But then to live on black crime in our own community, and then on top of that, to live with police officer shit. We can't
right,
win for losing. At least
right,
let's get some peace in our own community, so that way we don't have to worry about one of those motherfuckers killing us. Do
right.
you
It's
understand
just
why? I don't think the world ever understands what a black person truly deals with, because again, we have to worry about so much. Like you said, the racist person, the police officer that are wearing the badge that's threatened by me because of my skin color. You know what I'm saying? And then the neighborhood dude that just sees me as somebody that he just want to take something from.
right. We just can't really pull together. It's like we'll pull together, but as soon as we do, we fall apart. We got communities out there where they are trying to make a difference, but it's not enough of us. It's not enough because we should have been had our own banks, our own stores. Even though we have them, but we so far away. We should have our own community to where we can have money in our community, to where we can really just be together and fight together. But we don't have those things because we're too busy hating on each other. When one of us is doing really good in our life, successful, they try to find a way to bring you down because they mad because it ain't them. They don't support, they don't uplift, and that's what gets me. It's just
That's
sad that
true.
we just can't be
That's true.
together.
Lanier said the problem with these kids today is they don't understand the value of a dollar, and we don't,
No,
and,
that's sure
and we
don't.
don't, and we don't instill morals in them. We, the parents, are the example,
I agree.
and I do believe, and understand again when he says that he's not talking across the board. He's just because he's a viewer, he's no different than us. I'm pretty sure he means that's not in our cases, because like we say, some parents they stand up. They didn't even come from the community because their kids see their friends want to be gang members, sag their pants. Now they want to try to be that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end
Right,
of the day, him saying that you're the example, when you see your kid act out a character that you don't walk every day, that's when you check that shit.
right,
Your household can't be in order unless your household is in order.
right,
And what I mean by that is, if I stand up every day and put a belt around my waist, and my pants is pulled up around my waist, TJ and Gavin better walk out this motherfucker the same way.
right.
Period.
And
Point
that's,
blank.
and another example is because, like, me and my husband have our own track team. So
Yes, ma'am.
yesterday, the situation was, I tell the athletes, I said, when you come to the track, come ready. I said, what I mean by ready, have your tennis shoes on. And when you hit this field, let's start stretching. Well, a lot of them still want to come out with the little flip flops and the little, whatever, the little cloggers. And I tell them, I say, every time you come out here like that, you owe me 100 push-ups. So it got to the
Mm.
point to where they just kept doing it, and they felt like, well, I guess I just have to do some push-ups because I'm not taking these shoes off. I'm not gonna, swap my shoes out. So I just had enough yesterday. I called a meeting right in the middle of the field. I said, now my next thing is, I said, when you walk through this gate and you're not ready to work out, I said, you're going right back out that gate and you're going to tell your mama to take you home. And if she want to see me, she can come see me. Then also, and I told them, I say, do it again. Either you're going to be off the team or you're going to miss the rest of the track meets. I said, your choice.
And watch this. And watch this. Let me make people understand what you just said, because that's big. That's not just big in the track world. That's big in the work industry too. Let me say that the reason why I say that is because us as parents need to hold our kids accountable. If your child got a job and he walks out of here and his uniform ain't put together and he ain't walked out here ready to walk in that door, ready to go to work, then you're not doing it. I'm not saying that you're failing, because anybody can raise their kids the way they want to. It don't mean I'm right and you're wrong. What I'm telling you is you're not giving him the best example that he needs.
Right.
You need to check that. No, you walk out here ready to go to work with your uniform iron, your clothes on, your shoes on, your hair comb. When you walk through the job, when you walk in to clock in that job, you're ready to give them your time.
Right.
Period.
Right. Now,
you're
remember,
not half-ass it. You don't half-ass it. Period.
Right. I just remember
what you did was hold them accountable, and we have to do that more. If
we definitely do.
Accountable, hey, pull your goddamn pants up.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what we do constantly. We tell them constantly at track practice, hey, a lot of them come out there with their jeans on. So are you gonna run with some jeans and some slides? Oh, I'm finna change my clothes. You know how much time you're gonna take to change your clothes when we need to be out here working out? We practice from 6:30 to 8:30. It's now almost 7 o'clock, and you're late, and you got on jeans, and you don't even have your tennis shoes on.
And let me tell you something else. I think we need. I gotta go find the video. I just watched it earlier. Prime time. Deion Sanders let out a video earlier talking about the NIL rules or the INL rules, whatever they call them, whatever athletes get paid and all the stuff that's going on. And he has men on staff that's been in the community. Of course, we're black men. Black men listen to black men. So like you say, these white colleges are drafting these black athletes, and now there's major money when they walk into college. They walk in as a star athlete. You probably already a millionaire when you walk into college on the college football field now, as a freshman now. So that, like you said, all this money coming to him, do you know how to control them? Do you not? When he don't mean control them in a bad way. He said, do you know how to keep their mind in control to understand the difference between that money and what they really have? You see what I'm saying? And it's the truth. What he's saying is our black community, us as black men, have to teach our young men how to handle themselves, the value of a dollar, how to carry yourself, how to act, how your mannerisms is always supposed to be. That's our job, men. That's our job. That's nobody else's job. Yes, their mother is part of holding accountable, but it's really our job when it comes to our sons. Their job is to teach these young ladies how to act like women. And we're going to talk about that on a different day. We're going to talk about that on a different day because Miss Bo always said they're a little too masculine now. So we'll talk about that on a different day, ladies. We ain't going to get on y'all today. We're going to talk about these men today because we talk about that. So we're going to talk about we ain't going to talk about y'all like that today. But the truth is, that's our job, man. No disrespect. I know you need to handle your son. Well, how is she supposed to handle a 220-pound nigga and she only weighs 120 pounds?
Because you have to set the tone when they're young. Because when they're young and you set the tone correctly, they're going to be more respectful to you. That's what they know.
Nobody ever believed me. Beverly, that you just heard that from Bo Banks. Didn't I tell you the same thing with your son? You don't have the tone. A male tone is different than yours. And he understands, he can feel the authority figure coming from that male tone. That he feel it from the chest is a different thing with a male. You know what I'm saying? I don't have TJ to act crazy with everybody else. If I say TJ, all right, Pop, he's gonna straighten up.
We had a parent years ago. They had a son. I swear to God, I don't know how much, but he was a real big boy. She's a little bitty woman. And when he did something, I can't remember, he didn't do what the coach told him to do. We talked to her. She got in his butt. This big grown guy he got to crying because he has so much respect for his mother. He did not try to talk back. It's almost like he shrunk in size because, she said, well, his father's not here. His father died years ago. It's just been me and him. I've been having him since he was 4 or 5 years old by myself. And because he has so much fear in him from his mother, he never raised a hand back at her. He shrunk because she set the tone through
Well,
her son.
well, hold up. I'm gonna ask you a question though, because we think of it as fear. I don't think it's fear. I think it's respect.
Well, not fear. I wouldn't even say fear. It's more of respect.
Yeah, because like I tell everybody, we all as parents, the worst thing in the world we want our kids to do is truly fear us. We talk that
right.
shit, we want you to fear us like God. We don't want you to fear us. We want you to respect. Period.
Right. Well,
we want you to respect what we have to say to you. Whenever we have to change our tone and our voice, we want you to understand what the difference of that tone is and why we doing it. You know what I'm saying? We want you to understand that everything that we do and everything that we say when it comes to our kids, as much as y'all don't believe, is all out of love. Nothing that we ever do for our kids is not out of love. So I need people to understand that. People, our kids think that just because we don't tell them every day we don't love them no more, don't mean that we don't love them. I tell you all the time, but I'm not gonna. I mean, I can't tell you every dang day. Sometimes every day one day I might slip. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like as a man, we have, like you said, we have to do it. Women, yes, I respected my mama. The reason why I don't get indignant with women and treat women bad is, even though she's dead and gone, is because of her. You know what I'm saying? I respect her and what she instilled in me about how to handle a woman. So it wasn't my father that taught me. It wasn't my stepfather. It was her.
Right.
So let me be clear on that. And my mama could change her tone, and I knew what to do too. Oh shit! It's time to shut the hell up. Leave it alone.
Right.
And
when
go ahead.
So when my kids was in middle school, and I think that at one point they were like, they wanted this, whatever gift it was. I can't remember what it was. I mean, one of them just pitched a fit. So I said, okay, so is this what we're doing? So I canceled Christmas for them. I said, now on, you're not just going to receive, you're going to start giving. So I stopped buying Christmas presents for my kids back when they was in middle school. And I said, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to let you understand what Christmas really is. We're going to go with family because you might not see that member next year. That member may pass away. You're going to enjoy time with family and friends. And when anybody that needs something, you're going to give instead of receive. And that's what, and from that point on, they grown men now. But they understood that. Like they finally told me, like, Mom, I didn't understand when you took all that away from her. He said, but now I have a better understanding. I was just a child. But it taught them a lot. It taught them to want to give more.
Hey, Ladira, now I will tell you the truth. That this is the real stuff. Also, CPS done got hard. You can't even just spank your kids no more. But he said the problem today ain't our kids. It's the parents in today's world.
Oh yeah, the parents are the problem.
I remember my neighbors used to whoop my ass. It's not like that today. It takes a village to raise kids. And that is true. We did get a little out of control. But let me tell you something. Even when the gang violence was going on, when the gang members out there, if it was one of their neighbors, like one of their mama's friends or something, if they see them on the street, them niggas acted right. Them niggas got, whoa, hold up. No, that's Miss Johnson, man. Don't say shut up, bro. Shut up. Niggas, pull your hands up.
It's these new generational parents. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something, Lanier. Y'all remember whoopings got out of school right around when we was going there. They stopped it right around 97, 96, 97, something like that. So y'all remember when they stopped whooping in school, it's been going downhill ever since.
Right.
Spare the ride for the town. I don't give a damn what y'all say. There's consequences to all shit. Whoop their ass and keep right on moving.
Right.
I'm not telling you every situation deserves an ass whooping, because they don't. But certain situations deserve ass whooping. And I'll be honest with you, if I knew TJ was going to walk out this door and go do some harm to him, I wouldn't have to call the police on him, because TJ going to wake up and think about it.
Okay.
I'm telling you, we went to we was at the Junior Olympics 3 years ago, and one of our kids sprayed paint on the wall. It was 3 of them. I got all 3 of them and was whooping them right there, right in the open. All the track clubs looking at me, and I looked at them. I said, you get your ass whooped on this team. We're a village. Somebody do something wrong, don't matter if it's the coach one of the parents, you're gonna get your ass whooped on this
Yeah,
TV.
that's a
That's
criminal
how the way we
charge.
do.
That's a
Huh?
criminal charge on the kids.
Well, the parents standing right there cheering me on. I'm beating that ass. The
But
parents
see,
didn't say
see,
nothing. They stood
watch
right
this.
there and told them you had no business doing it.
Let me tell you something. It didn't take me nothing but one time in the neighborhood to realize that the neighborhood could whoop me. I didn't do shit no more where the neighborhood could see me. I only deserve one
Oh,
ass whooping. I'm not finna take 5. I done got whooped by the neighbor, and then the other neighbor done whoop me. Their mama and daddy gonna whoop me. Now, fuck that. I'm not taking all them ass whoopings. That was one time doing that. I realized, fuck the village. I'm not doing shit wrong. Now they can see me
right,
anyway.
right. I mean, that's what.
I kept getting my ass whooped at school. The paddle with the holes in it. Yeah, I remember Ladero. Yeah, we stayed in the office. See, hey,
Right.
we got Mr. Smith, Meadowbrook Middle School. Mr. Smith, Meadowbrook
What
Middle
you
School.
say?
Mr. Smith, whooped our goddamn ass, boy. Mr. Smith lit, boy. I made me jump off the table, boy. That boy say lit our ass up. But I'm gonna tell you something though. We respected Mr. Smith. You shit. See, there he is. He just said it on the screen too, Mr. Smith. Hey, Mr. Smith tore our butt up. But the reality was back then, that's what it was. The village raised us.
Right. That is so true.
The village
My
raised us.
principal, I remember trying out to be on a cheerleader squad and didn't have the money to pay for it. My principal came in and paid for everything. He made sure I ate because sometimes I didn't have money to eat at school. He took care of me, but he whooped my butt too.
Yeah.
So my principal was everything to me in middle school. You know, he was like my father.
I just don't know. I mean, like, I'm not saying that we can truly stop our kids because we never know what's in our kids' heads. But
right, you just have to sit down and have a conversation with them.
But I honestly believe that do we have the conversation enough when we start seeing them act different than what we raised them to be?
Yeah, I do. I conversate with my son every day, all day.
Right.
It's important to talk to them and find out where their
Right.
mind is and allow them to talk. That was something I had to learn from Wade Berryman. You always tell them to shut up and you always tell them, no, you're going to do this. But you have no idea where their mind frame is because you've never allowed them to finish a sentence or speak on what's going on, what they're thinking.
Right.
And so
that is so true. I remember being that kid, couldn't really express myself.
Right. You have to listen to them, let them talk, find out where their mindset is, and then attempt to rear them back into the right direction. And that can't be done once or twice. It has to be done daily.
Time out. All of us turned out okay, and we was all told what the fuck to do. So y'all better stop acting like that. We all was told what to do.
But we're living in a different time. This is not the same time.
You went to church services 3 times on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, we did, but
I went to Sunday school, mid-morning worship, and then evening
afternoon
church.
service at somebody else's church. A visiting church came over. God damn it, and don't let it be musical Sunday. God damn it, y'all ain't getting that at 10 o'clock at night. Y'all was knocked out at 8 o'clock in the morning. You
Thomas,
let
me tell you what the difference is.
And a night snack before you went back to home.
Let me tell you what the difference is. You're still being told what to do. The difference is hear them out. Allow them to speak. That makes a difference.
Girl, let me tell you something. Go tell your mama that then. Tell your mama that goddamn it you want to speak.
She ain't gonna listen to me. She in the grave, Thomas. Beverly Ann is in the grave.
We tried the same shit. We wanted them to hear us too. We had an opinion we wanted to get out too.
But
you said
listen,
too much, you got your lips smacked.
But listen, Thomas, you got a point to that. When we wasn't able to speak, when we had our children, because we didn't want them to go through what we went through, we let them have too much freedom. Because we tried to give them what we didn't have. So instead of us going forward, we went backwards.
So again,
because now if you really look at our generation of kids, we started giving them stuff that We were working hard, stuff that they didn't even deserve. We were getting them those things. So that's where I feel we went wrong.
He said back then that was disrespectful. He said, I do feel like you gotta let your kids express themselves 100%. But like I said, I mean, allowing them to express themselves and allowing them to go down that road is two different things. If they express a certain way to you, I mean, what is it then that you put your foot down and let them know how it goes?
Yeah, that's what that means. It means, okay, here's the conversation, Mom. So this is what my friend did at school, and I was like, you're not gonna do me like that. And then after he done told me what happened, then I give my input. Now that ain't what you need to do. This is how it needs to be done. I do the same thing that my
my thing
parents
about
did.
it is, if he's still adamant about doing it his way, when do you put your foot down so that way he don't fuck up and do it his way, because his way is done and gonna get him in trouble?
I have to pray
Right.
and hope to God that he goes in the direction that I'm steering him
Oh,
in.
goddamn it, bust that motherfucker upside the goddamn head. Fuck them kids. Fuck goddamn CP. Bust them upside the
You know
goddamn
what?
head.
And also think about this. What about when a kid is going to school and he's getting bullied and we're telling them, hey, you need to fight back. Maybe when he fought back, he end up getting killed or killed somebody else because we forced him in a situation to where we should have went, where some parents should have went up there to resolve it or take him out of that school because that school is too toxic. And you try to make them be in a situation.
I told you, Miss. I told y'all what you do. Go to school, you call the mom and daddy up there, you whoop the mom and daddy ass in front of their kid, and they realize they ain't that tough, and you keep right
That's
on
not the
life.
solution.
That don't work. That don't work.
It ain't the solution.
It don't work.
Well, don't bully my motherfucking kid then. Because your daddy gonna get his ass whooped. I can't whoop him. Come in.
Shut up. I hate you.
Hey,
No,
hey, I can't whoop a kid.
that don't work.
Can't whoop a kid. So Lanier said
It's crazy.
it's messed up kids when you allow them to hold that anger in. It has to come out.
Right.
Thank you, Lanier.
I believe it has to come out, but let me ask you a question. Even though it comes out, are you able to get it out enough so he doesn't express it towards the person that he really wants to get it out to? See, deliverance to us still it doesn't get it out of his system because the person he's really mad at, he hasn't vented to, he hasn't got it on. He wants to kill that person.
Right. I mean, it's just, I don't think we should force kids to be in a situation that can be dangerous.
I don't think that we should, I don't know how, I don't know, again, I'm asking y'all because, again, at the same time, I mean, I would be the same parent like y'all. I'm trying to talk my son off the cliff.
Well, I mean, just some of the athletes that we coached, and they telling us what's going on at their school. Because one of my coaches, she lost two of her nephews. The one that was down in Deep Ellum, where there was one guy got killed, and I guess a month later, the other one got killed.
Yeah.
And it all started from school. These kids that don't like each other, they go down to whatever it is it Deep Ellum?
Yeah.
And they fought out there, but they all go to the same school together.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Then like that teacher that got it, they had it. It was going all over the internet where the kid had threw a chair and hit the teacher in the head in the DeSoto.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my athletes that was she was sitting in the classroom when it happened. She was telling us about it.
Wow.
That is.
I was like, and it's crazy. These kids are out of control.
That right there is sad. That right there is real sad. Like for real. Well, y'all, we ain't gonna hold them up too much longer because it is Friday, and I know everybody want to get their weekend started. We are gonna revisit this subject because the men that normally here weren't able to get it here tiled in because again, we got to get the answer. We got to get to the bottom of it. And if it's a man thing, we need to hold more. We need to do more in our community.
Right.
Sierra, I'm sorry we didn't get you to say too much today. My battery's running low. I don't want to cancel us on the show today. Y'all know how my stuff is.
It's okay. I'm still waking up, so you're fine.
But what has anybody got any big plans this weekend before we go?
Um, track meet.
Track meet. Where's the track meet at?
DeSoto High School.
Okay. Um, who's all running?
It's the team that's hosting is called True Speed, but I think a lot of the forward teams are running in the DFW Wings meet that's in forward.
No,
Okay.
my David will be at DeSoto High School tomorrow as well.
Okay. I had posted on the DFW. We have a track
Hey,
page, and I was asking the teams where track meets they were going to, and
you ain't gotta
some of the
worry about it,
forward
Beverly.
teams.
Bo Banks, you gonna get to see Beverly tomorrow because she's gonna be there.
Well, she'll see me. Look, she'll see me briefly because I gotta work still, so she'll see my team.
Well, look for Dalen. Well, look for
What
Dalen. You
team
gonna
he
see that
run
little
for?
fast motherfucker that look like that dude from Incredibles, that little fast little white boy from Incredibles? That's her son, the little fast little black boy from Incredibles.
What team he run for?
He runs for a team called True Spirit.
Okay. Well, when you come, the name of our team is called Junior Speedsters.
Okay, cool beans. I'll be looking for you.
On the back of our uniform, we got a whole bunch of cartoon characters in the back.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
that's
real
it.
busy. Yeah.
That's
so if you see
y'all.
that,
So y'all like cartoon
that is us.
characters?
Yeah. One of the coaches designed track uniforms. He make uniforms for the different school systems too. But that's what they look like with the cartoon characters in the back.
Yeah, we ain't getting off here without talking to you. Where you at?
I'm here.
Before we even get ready to go, I do gotta ask your input on this topic because we didn't get it in here. Because I mean, actually, you're actually the age that's really getting hit the hardest, the 30 and under age.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you probably had some friends that died of gun violence. So I mean, with that being said, what can we do to change the narrative on it though?
Well, we've done as much. Well, I don't know that we've done as much as we could to reach out to our community. But I can say that recently my cousin was hospitalized because he was beat up at an HBCU party, and he was in
Oh wow.
ICU, and now he's blind and he can't talk. So
Oh shit.
yeah, I'll keep him in your prayers.
Definitely will. What's his
And
name
these were
again?
his name is Xavier Pointer.
Xavier. Okay, thank you.
Damn, this is like I said, it's getting out of control. The
It
hardest
is.
thing is to know that most of the time it's when we gather together. I just want us to know as black people, rather much as people always say they stereotype us and say that we can't get along, we really can, y'all. It's called being able to respect people's boundaries and opinions.
Oh, we just don't want to.
Nope,
Well,
and then we do it to each
our
other
community don't.
and make it okay for other races to do it to us. Monkey see, monkey do.
Well, let me say this: if you throw parties and stuff out there, you better start making sure your stuff's in line because you know that trail ride that happened out in Dallas, they charging them people that do that party. They're charging them people with that one person's death that happened at the trail ride and the 10 people.
Yeah, we had
shot.
some athletes at that trail ride too.
They're charging the people the promoters of the party and the people that put on the party because they didn't have adequate security and stuff like that.
Right.
So another thing, I mean, us as a black community, you know, if it's not a sponsored event that don't have adequate security, don't go. Even those events can happen. Stuff can happen at, but the reality of it is less likely to happen. Anywhere you go, something bad can happen. So we not knocking that, but let's be more mature and put ourselves in situations where we don't be in a situation where we're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
And that's what happened to a lot of our young black people. especially with our friend Calvin's son. Wrong place, wrong time. It wasn't for him, but he was an innocent bystander, and that's what happens in a lot of situations with guns. When they start shooting, they don't even shoot the person they're shooting at. They shoot at me and they hit Sierra, which is 10, 15 feet from me. Because again, they don't know how to use the gun properly. They don't know how to shoot it properly. They don't know how to aim it properly. They couldn't hit a moving target for nothing. We have to. I believe that I honestly believe that guns ain't going nowhere. So we have to educate our younger people more on them. First off, we're gonna have to. I believe that as black men, with our black young men, we need to step up and help out in situations where there is no man. Let me say that. That way you're not overstepping, because if they got a daddy in their life, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't change those situations. They have a daddy. But I mean, if you can always give words of wisdom and all that situation, but when you see ladies out here that's struggling with these young teenage young men that's giving them a hard time, they can't seem to get them under control, because ass whoopings from them don't hurt no more. Mama's ass whoopings don't hurt no more. Not meaning you gotta give an ass whooping. Just your stern talking to change the situation. Us men, like Beverly said, she talked to Bray many times, and then me go talk to Bray, and he go back, "Oh, Mama, I understand it's like this, and she's like, I just said that shit to you. Don't sit up and act like I didn't just say that shit. I just said it." I'd be like, "Yeah, she did say it, but I just reiterated it." But it came from a male perspective, so he was willing to accept it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you're the uncle wanting to teach your nephew to be hard, you don't let them niggas fuck you. Don't put. And we can't do that. We can't keep pushing our nephews to act hard and act tough and want to carry the gun and act the fool and act like they're the hardest dude, because that ain't the case no more. Somebody else is ready to put them in their grave.
Right.
And that's the society we live in now. Again, guns aren't going nowhere, so we need to change the scenario.
Right.
Man, we love y'all. It's Friday, man. We got a lot of going on this week. I know I do. Caden's got our first basketball tournament this weekend. So we're getting ready.
Congratulations on being a Hornet. Jara's going to be coaching her, isn't she?
I think so. I think she'll be out there. Yeah, we got to go to DeSoto tomorrow. What's that? I'm going to go with you. I'm done. All right. Y'all, we going to see y'all next week. We got a couple things coming y'all way next week. Again, we were going to talk about the Buffalo incident, but I won't. On our side, I think we just need to hush about them. I don't think we need to give them no leeway. I don't think we need to promote racism at all, even though he promoted on this video, because the video he put out there was harsh. It is hard on our black community, and just to give his name life and give that whole thing life is stupid as hell to me. So we love y'all, and we'll see y'all next week.